Hi, you're about to watch me transform into Donald Trump. I did it by going to Party City to get a Trump wig and orange face paint, and then I put on his dump truck yuck ugly as wig on, and then I covered my face in the orange paint to look like his moldy oldie so orange it's unholy, looking like he's 80 skin, which ended up staining my fingers and my face orange, and it got in my eyes, which was really painful, but that's not the point. The point is I remembered Trump is now unemployed, so I thought I'd prank call some places using my Trump voice
and ask if I can get a job, a very big job.
First, I called Home Depot since they're orange just like Trump.
Are you guys hiring by any chance?
Yes, we are.
Spectacular. Wonderful. I actually lost my job today.
Here's my application. First name Donald, last name Trump.
We're out of time, but if you want to see if I got a job interview, the link to the YouTube video is in my bio. Okay, bye. So, I lost my debit card for the 5th time this year, and the bank won't give me a new one, so I went to Foot Locker today to sell my feet pics, because I'm completely broke, and after looking everywhere and asking an employee, I could not find the locker full of feet pics, and I thought, this place is such a scam. Why would it be called Foot Locker if there's no locker where people can buy feet pics? That's when I had the realization I can make my own Foot Locker and sell my feet pics on the side of the road. I started by holding up an iPad with some samples, but people kept driving by and no one bought any. But you know what they say, baby? Work smarter, not harder. So when I got home, I started making a sign that said feet pictures $3. So I painted it real nice and then I hit the streets again. And when I got to a busy street, I taped the iPad to it with a Google slideshow playing with my feet. And I waved it around a bit more, but even that wasn't working. So I had to do what I never thought I'd do. I seductively took my shoe off and then lowered the sock off my foot. And then I started waving at people driving by with my feet. But it was too much. I ran home and felt so dirty and unwanted because no one wanted my little piggy. I was so bored today I googled myself, and I noticed there was a tab saying Ben of the Week height, and it said that I was 5'7", which is slander because I'm 6 feet tall. Look, I literally measured it. I am 6 feet tall. Like, I can drop my phone with a Caseify case for my head, and it survives. Not only did my phone survive with my Caseify case, but the case is super fun too. They have lots of different designs, which are super fun. And like, look, here's Dula Peep with hers. Look at me and my twin, Dula Peep. But I have this fun shipping label one, which I tried putting in a mailbox once, but then I realized it's not a real shipping label, it's just a case, and I had to fish my phone out of the mailbox with tongs. Anyways, I highly recommend getting one since I see some of y'all raw dogging that iPhone with no protection, no case, no nothing. And they come in super fun packaging and have free little sanitizing wipes for you stinky mamas. Anyways, you can get 20% off with code 20HIGHBEN. Okay, bye! I'm a Canadian, and this is my Canadian passport, and this is my Canadian passport picture. And for some reason, I'm in the freaking United States during the season finale of America. Because I'm stupid, and I just really wanted some good American fast food. Anyways, I was trying to escape before it becomes the newest Purge movie. So I packed up my JoJo Siwa poster, my Rainy Rodriguez shrine, and my favorite toilet seat, and I left my room for the very last time, and walked over to the bus station to go back to Canada. And as I was sitting on that bus, I remembered I forgot my passport on my desk while filming this TikTok. So I freaked out, and I got off the bus, and I ran back to my place faster than Zoe Laverne is running from the federal authorities. And once I grabbed it, I then called an Uber back to Canada, and it was $4,000, but I booked it since I missed the bus. Anyways, the Uber arrived, so I went downstairs, and I got in, and the guy was chill until he turned to me and said, "Is it just you?" And I said, "Why?" And he said,
"I ain't never seen two pretty best friends."
I was drawing a fat little rat with a top hat on my arm when I realized this would be a cool tattoo. And I don't have any tattoos on my body because my pain tolerance is so low that if I stubbed my toe, I'd probably pass out. Anyways, I decided to get my first tattoo ever, and I was walking over to the tattoo parlor when I started wondering, how am I just gonna commit to getting a tattoo? I'm so indecisive that I rearranged my room for no reason at least 3 times a week. And as I was at the door to the tattoo place, I chickened out. But I decided to get something way better. I ran home and I grabbed my rat and I gave him a bucket hat and I made him sit still because I decided that I'm gonna make a painting of a rat in a hat instead of that. So then, and traced him as my little rat model. And then after he was traced, I started painting it. And then once it was painted, I cut it out. And voila. That is a rat in a hat. And he also needs a name though, so please help. I haven't been posting on TikTok because I got a stalker that's been DMing me saying he's gonna come to my house and that he knows my address. And I didn't know what to do, so I packed my bags and I ran away to Florida to try and hide. When I finally got there, I went to the pool to relax when I saw someone staring at me from a distance covered in like smoke or something. I was kind of scared, but I followed them out of the pool and I barely got out because I have no upper body strength. Anyways, I followed his footsteps to the beach and they led me to this fenced off area, but I went in anyways and I followed the trail of smoke coming from him, which brought me to this weird abandoned building which had a really strong smell of like skunk or something coming from it. I was still curious, so I stuck inside and it was completely dark. So I turned on my flash and there was Jacob Sartorius! I screamed out, "What do you want from me?" And that's when he asked if I wanted to do some lettuce with him. And you know what I said? Yes! And we made a delicious salad together, just me and Jacob Sartorius, 2 dudes tossing salad in the kitchen. Today, I hiked up to the Hollywood sign, but there was a fence blocking access to it, so I committed a little bit of a crime. And I managed to get through, and I changed the sign to Holly Boob by covering the W with a B for boob. Anyways, I was walking down, and I saw helicopters flying overhead, and I was getting kind of nervous. So I ran into the bushes, and I hid from them, because apparently I was on government property, or whatever that means. Anyways, I got an emergency alert on my phone, and when I checked, it said that there was a $2 million bounty for a 6-foot man in green. So I realized I'll have to live off the grid forever in these bushes, with my only food being Lady Gaga Oreos that I brought as a snack. Anyways, I managed to sneak away to a swamp, but I heard the choppers getting closer. But that's when I looked in the distance and saw none other than a 6-foot man in green in the swamp. I had to act fast, so I grabbed my phone and I dialed 911 and I ratted on Shrek. Anyways, Shrek was arrested and charged with 8 felonies and I got a $2 million reward. So now I'm rich and I bought a mansion. Thanks, Shrek. Celebrity crush to notice me. And here's how I did it. First, I was editing my name onto a hospital band and one of the rows said sex. So I said, yes, winky face. And then I walked over to my printer that I haven't used in years, and I thought it was gonna light on fire, and somehow that old mama worked, and it printed out my band. So I cut it out and put it on my wrist.
Drip, my drip, yeah.
And then I tore my bed apart, and I ripped the bed sheet off my bed to wear as a little hospital robe. Then once I had that, I pulled my bed off and dragged it over to a blank wall. Anyways, then I made my room look like a hospital by taping hospital signage. And then I laid down in my hospital bed, and I made the finishing touches with a phone charger, and then I put some headphones in my nose to really pull it all together. Then I finally took my Snapchat, and I added a black and white filter to be all dramatic. And I made the caption, "Down bad, wish I had a big booty bee to give me CPR." And I sent it to her. Then I ripped all the cords out and the bracelet too, and I put my shirt back on. And I was waiting around when she finally replied. And when I opened it, she said, "My dearest Mima once told me, the circle of life is everywhere. That's why today I'm using her ashes to season my baked salmon for supper. I get all my seafood fresh from the sewer drain behind my local prison, cause my uncle taught me when I was a young boy that if you take headphones with a phone attached playing Ed Sheeran and leave them by a sewer drain overnight, the fish in the sewers will sewer-side. And when you check back the next day, you'll have plenty of fish ready for the lunch." Now, I'm not using any seasoning other than Mima herself, because I'm half white and my Mima told me that seasoning is the devil. Plus, the fish is already marinated in toxic chemicals to give it a little bit of a kick from the sewer runoff. I throw it in the oven at 400 degrees, and once it's done and I take it out, I finish it with a few more ashes. And then I finally take my first bite. So it looks like I have Mima stuck in my throat from the dryness, so instead of her ashes getting spread at Disneyland, they're getting spread in this toilet. Bye, Mima. So I have a chunk of dry ice from buying human organs off the black market, but I was thinking, how do you even get rid of dry ice? Like, it doesn't melt because it's literally frozen air and it repels water, which means it's homophobic. Oh wait, I mean hydrophobic. Anyways, I'm clinically stupid, so I broke a piece in half and plopped it in my toilet to see what would happen. And it was making these fun little bubbles, so I filled the bathtub and grabbed the rest of it and threw it in some water to see what would happen. And anyways, that was a mistake because I filled the whole shower up with gases, and I remembered it's not frozen air, it's frozen CO2, and I was getting lightheaded and I wasn't trying to die. So I took the piece out and I brought it to the sink and I jammed it down the drain as best as I could so it would go away. And then I took a deep breath of relief until I looked down to see I was standing in a puddle of water, and boom, my pipes exploded. There was water spraying me everywhere in the face. It got everywhere. Anyways, I may have caused a catastrophic water main failure in my whole neighborhood and flooded 102 buildings. So, I don't think the vegan chicken nuggets were worth it. Last night I went to Chuck E. Cheese to lie and say it's my birthday to get free pizza. And it worked, baby! But the place was terrifying and the food was even scarier. And after a few bites, I started feeling sick, like I had worms in my stomach. So I got up and I stumbled out of the restaurant and I went home. Then the next day I scheduled an emergency Zoom doctor's visit and he told me that I'm lactose intolerant. And I was like, what the hell? I don't lactose, I got all 10, baby. But then he told me to put my feet away and I was like, you're right, you should be paying me for this, not the other way around, buddy. And then he started telling me you can't eat pizza anymore. But his video started to cut out, but it's okay, because I know what lactose intolerance is. I can't have bread anymore! So I got rid of all my bread and dumped all of that fart food right in the trash. And then I grabbed some milk and chugged nothing but pure milk for a few days. And you know what? It was really good for a bit until I started feeling a storm brewing 10 times stronger than what Chuck E. Cheese did to me. So I immediately ran to the bathroom and... So apparently lactose intolerance is the milk one, but at least I don't lactose, baby! Okay, so I found some weird Tic Tac looking things in the bathroom that weren't mine. And I was pretty bored, so I ate them all. And I felt like I was in the show Euphoria.
Stranger.
But I thought they would be tropical fruit flavored, but they were very much not. And I started wondering what they actually are, and I looked in the drawer where I found them, and they were growth capsules. I was confused, but I got super excited because I want to be 8 feet tall and stomp on all the people that walk slow and just cower over everyone stomping on it. Oh wait, they're actually foam animal pills that grow in water. I started freaking out because I can barely digest Taco Bell, so I don't think I can digest that. And I grabbed a bunch and put them in water to see what animal was growing inside me, and when I pulled the foam out and looked at the diagram, it was a horse. And you know what? I embraced it. I became my true calling of a horse boy, and I put on my 4 shoes on all 4 of my hoofs, and then I played every horse's favorite song right now, and I ran off into the world to start a new life.
One day.
I was making sushi with raw chicken instead of raw fish, but I accidentally dropped it on the floor. And when I bent over to pick it up, I saw my legs and wondered if I could wax them so they would feel like 2 slippery hot dogs. So I canceled my chicken sushi, and once I was done cleaning it all up, I went to my garage to find a bottle of Gorilla Glue to wax my legs. But here's the big old catch. I can't make a single noise waxing my legs because if I wake up my dog, she will literally pee herself in the beanbag chair. So with that in mind, I grabbed some plastic wrap and put the glue on it and made a little waxing strip. Then I knelt down and put the strip on slowly, and at first I was like, this isn't too bad. It just kind of feels kind of numb. And then it started burning, and I realized I had to do it now, so I ripped it off, and it didn't get the wax off! I panicked and I tried to wipe it off, but it just shredded the paper towel and got even stickier. And also my dog woke up and peed herself. But at least the sushi was kind of fire. This morning I woke up to see that the internet was trying to cancel the D'Amelios for not eating snails. Stop! Y'all are telling me you've never been overdramatic when your parents cooked food you didn't like? So you made a fuss about it? Yeah, I know you did. Snails are disgusting, just to be clear. I wouldn't care if Gordon Ramsay cooked me an entire dish with snails, because if I bit into a snail thinking it was a mushroom, I would spit it out too. Also, if you're a grown adult trying to cancel them, just pack it up and admit that you're jealous that 2 teenagers have accomplished more in a year than you have in your whole career. Anyways, after getting severe brain damage from seeing people reach so far they dislocated their arms, I went back to sleep. And in my dream, I was walking around an empty abandoned street in the dark when I saw a giant snail, and it started screaming, "Eat me, eat me!" And I ran into the nearest house and closed the garage door, and just when I thought I was safe, I felt something slimy on my arm, and I heard a voice say,
It's time for you to escort. Go.
Today I walked to Starbucks to get the brand new Ariana Grande drink, because the Travis Scott meal sucked fat butthole. So I'm curious to see what Ariana drinks. I finally got there, and when I ordered, I said, I'd like the Grande, please. And they were like, the Grande what? And I said, the Grande. And they were like, the Grande what? And then I said, the Ariana Grande. And then they said, okay, that'll be $69.69. And I was shocked at how expensive it was, but I paid. And they brought my drink out, and I waited until I was home to drink it. And when I was finally ready, I uncovered my eyes to look at it, and it was just a Grande cup with a bug in it. And I screamed out of horror, and I grabbed the cup, and I ran to the street to dispose of it, and I winded up my throat, and I watched as it flew through the air, and then came crashing down, and I watched as the Ariana Grande drink bled across the pavement with the bug's life flashing before its eyes. So overall, I would rate the Ariana Grande drink at Starbucks a 3 out of 10. I accidentally swallowed the bug, and it started feasting on my internal organs. I was drawing a fat little rat with a top hat on my arm when I realized this would be a cool tattoo. And I don't have any tattoos on my body because my pain tolerance is so low that if I stubbed my toe, I'd probably pass out. Anyways, I decided to get my first tattoo ever, and I was walking over the tattoo parlor when I started wondering, how am I just gonna commit to getting a tattoo? I'm so indecisive that I rearranged my room for no reason at least 3 times a week. And as I was at the door to the tattoo place, I chickened out. But I decided to get something way better. I ran home and I grabbed my rat and I gave him a bucket hat and I made him sit still because I decided that I'm gonna make a painting of a rat in a hat instead of that. So then, and traced him as my little rat model. And then after he was traced, I started painting it. And then once it was painted, I cut it out. And voila. That is a rat in a hat. And he also needs a name though, so please help. Okay, I don't know if you've seen that trend where people are exploring their attics, but I've seen some spooky things and I'm gonna try it because I have this house that was built in the 1900s but got renovated. And also, I've noticed that my attic has a weird light coming from inside but no switch to control it or anything. So I grabbed a stool and I made it go as high as possible because the attic was like 2 times my height. And then I climbed onto it, but it was really wobbly and I started getting scared. Anyways, when I finally managed to open up the attic door, I couldn't really see inside, so I felt around for a switch with my hand. And that's when I touched a book. I picked it up and then I jumped off the stool and ran downstairs to read it. And when I looked inside, it had a bunch of Chinese characters, I think, and maybe blood. I had to know what it meant, so I took it to Google Translate, and I tried my best to transcribe the Chinese characters, and I couldn't believe it. But it said, I ain't never seen 2 pretty best... Wait a minute! You thought I was gonna make a 2 pretty best friends joke? No! The joke is dead, and you just got caught slipping. Look in the mirror right now, clown. That's you, Pennywise. Anyways, this has been a Harvard University experiment. Thank you for your participation. I was walking down the street when I saw my biggest fear, a TikTok wiggy. I screamed and I ran over and engaged in a brawl with the wiggy and ended up stealing their wig, and I was running away to hide it, but I got kind of hungry. So I stopped at Subway and got some bread with cheese. And when I finally got home, I was eating my cheese and bread from Subway, and I realized it's Halloween and I don't have a costume. And I could be a wiggy for Halloween, but that's too boring. So I needed something better and decided to be YB from Coraline. So I found a black jacket and I slipped it on, and then I found some skeleton gloves, and then I tried getting some eyeliner put on, but it hurt so bad and I cried it all off. And then I put it all on and boom, YB! But it didn't stop there, because I had a little photo shoot, and then I photoshopped myself into the creepy butthole scene at the end. Right of time, but the finished results are on my Instagram if you want to go check it out, at BENOFTHEWEEK. Okay, bye. Okay, so I bought one of those things that lets you FaceTime your dog and shoot treats at them, but today I was looking at the camera and I noticed that she's been taking all her treats behind the couch for some reason. So I went to go see what she was doing with them, and she's been storing them so that she can pretend like I never gave her one in the first place, then ask for more like the fat little bitch she is. And yes, I can call her that because bitch means female dog, and she is a female dog. Anyways, I had enough of her scamming me, so I decided to empty out the treat machine and fill it with her least favorite treat. Green beans, baby! I put a bean on the plate and cut it up into small little pieces, and then I loaded it into the machine, and I shot it out at her, and at first she didn't want to eat it, but then she got bored, and she ate them, and I was so happy because I thought I got her on a diet, until I heard a weird coughing noise come from downstairs. I ran downstairs to see what was happening, and that's when I saw her in my beanbag bed, next to the beans when she had thrown out. Oh, I got beans in my bed! I was sitting on the floor eating a Rice Krispie snack when my dad randomly came home with a dog. We don't have a dog. We have a cat. So what is that? And I said, did you just buy a dog? And my dad told me he just bought a dog. So, I guess I have a dog at my dad's house now. And I went to go pet it, but it keeps running away from me and looking at me like I'm a demon, which I am. But it still made me sad, and I was sitting around trying to figure out how to become friends with this baby dog. And then I realized I could probably give it something, like a treat. So I got off my butt and I went upstairs and I looked in the pantry and found some dog bones. I opened up the package and grabbed a bone, and then I slowly approached him and placed it on the mat. But then my dad's cat, Luna, got in the way. Anyways, I gave it another bone, and it bit my hand so hard, like 3 fingers fell off. I had to call an ambulance. Just kidding. He let me come near, and when I touched him, he twitched, and it scared me a little bit. But then he let me pet him. And now we're almost besties, and I took him on a little walk and took some cute pictures with him. So if you want to see more of Sammy, I posted the pics on my Instagram, at BENOFTHEWEEK. Okay, bye. So I've always wondered, what would happen if you put a Tide Pod in your dishwasher instead of like the dish soap pod thing? Like, would it explode, or like what would happen? So today I decided to sacrifice my Android phone to record it, and I turned the flash on and put it in my dishwasher, and then once it was recording inside there, I closed it up and started the dishwasher on the low cycle. But after a few minutes, it started shaking a lot, and I noticed that there was water leaking and dripping out the bottom. So I panicked and I canceled it, and I opened it up and I took the phone out, and somehow it survived and was still working. So I played the video to see what happened, and every time you're not running, Ed Sheeran gets closer. I was microwaving hot chip ravioli and sitting by a fire that I started in my living room when I started longing for someone to share the meal with. But then my eyes caught the word Tinder. I dropped my ravioli and grabbed my phone to download Tinder. And I made a profile to show off my personality and my love for food. After I added some pictures and finished my profile, I was gonna run some ranch dressing through my coffee maker to see what would happen. When all of a sudden my phone went off, and when I grabbed it, it notified me that I had a match. Ever since then, we've been talking non-stop, and we're gonna go on a picnic tonight and see who can dislocate their jaw the furthest and fit the most apples in their mouth. Anyways, wish me luck on my date. Today I woke up and grabbed my phone and text my friends, "Good morning, bestie." But instead I chose violence today. And out of the blue, I Snapchatted my friend, "I know what you did." And then I had added her on Snapchat because I wanted to see her anger level. Then I put my phone away and I went upstairs to make lunch. And while I was getting the ingredients to make some delicious chocolate nachos, my phone started blowing up. But I didn't look at them because I was microwaving my chocolate nachos. And then once the nachos were done, I sat down and I enjoyed them. And then I went to the sink and I washed my plate. And then I decided it was a good time to assess her anger level. So I checked my phone and she had said, "Yeah, I told everyone you're an ugly ass, annoying ass, smelly, especially smelly ass bitch with a dog that looks like a raw chicken breast that you could boil and use the eye crust as seasoning. Lose my number." So anyways, I don't have my best friend anymore and I'm going back to bed. I recently mentioned that I have a chunk of dry ice from buying human organs off of the black market, and the TikTok blew up, which is not what I wanted, because now the FBI is gonna be on my ass. Cause this morning I was watching how snails make love when my MacBook camera turned on, and usually it's just my FBI agent checking in to see if I'm doing okay mentally, but this time they messaged me and said, "Did you really buy human organs off of them?" And I said, "No, you dumb walnut brain doo-doo head, it's a TikTok. When have I ever made a serious TikTok? It's all just a joke cause I'm painfully bored with too much time on my hands, and I just write down whatever comes to my brain, and somehow people enjoy it. It makes me really happy." happy, but then I read one hate comment and it ruins my whole week. And then my FBI agent told me, go to therapy. And I was like, damn, you're right. And I went to bed. Don't buy organs on the black market, or your FBI agent will make you go to therapy. Today, I ate 23 gummy vitamins, and I got the brilliant idea to go buy an ostrich so I can recreate that scene from the movie Rango, where they ride the ostriches into the sunsets. But then I was wondering to myself, are ostriches even legal? And I looked it up, and yeah, you can literally own an ostrich in California. So I started calling places asking for ostriches.
How may I help you?
If I gave you a half-used Starbucks gift card, could I buy an emu with it?
No, you cannot.
Anyways, I finally found a place 3 hours away called Ostrich Land, and I went on a little road trip. Now, as I was traveling to Ostrich Land, I thought about all the pets I've had so far, such as my crusty-eyed white dog, the grocery store crab that I ended up releasing into the ocean, / accidentally sacrificing when the wave came and killed it, and my praying mantis that I fed cockroaches to every single night. Anyways, we finally arrived at Ostrich Land, and it turned out the ostriches are 7 feet tall! I thought ostriches were like chicken size! Ah, crap, we're out of time on TikTok, but if you want to see me vlog my ostrich purchase, the link to the YouTube video is in my bio.